Taking sexy back. Reclaiming intimacy and pleasure in relationships. Unlock the secrets to long-lasting relationships through the power of sexual intimacy. In this audiobook, we delve into understanding your deepest desires, learning how to communicate your needs, and embracing the emotional depth that makes sex more than just a physical experience. Get ready to transform your relationship with sex, pleasure, and your partner. Sexual intimacy is often considered the foundation of a strong and lasting relationship, but many of us struggle to express and explore our deepest desires. Taking Sexy Back offers a fresh perspective on how to reconnect with your sexual self, embrace your needs, and communicate more openly with your partner. With insights from clinical psychologist Alexandra H. Solomon, Ph.D., this audiobook will guide you through the complexities of desire, emotional connection, and vulnerability, ultimately leading you to a more fulfilling relationship. Focus points. A personal sex revolution. Learn how to reclaim your sexual power and start embracing your desires without shame. Understanding needs and desires. Explore the intricate relationship between your sexual wants and emotional needs. Untangling identity and experience. Discover how your past, identity, and experiences shape your sexual life. Emotionality is an advantage. Understand how emotional connection can amplify pleasure and intimacy in your relationship. When your handstand fails. Learn the importance of vulnerability and taking risks in the pursuit of sexual satisfaction. The bravery of openness. Master the art of communicating your sexual needs and desires with confidence. Conclusion. Summarize key takeaways and how to move forward with a renewed sense of sexual empowerment. Learning outcomes. Gain a deeper understanding of your sexual needs and how they relate to emotional connection. Develop the skills to openly communicate with your partner about sex, desires, and boundaries. Discover how vulnerability and risk-taking can enrich your sexual experiences and strengthen your bond. Reframe your perspective on sexual intimacy to create lasting, satisfying relationships. Empower yourself with practical tools to take charge of your sexual journey and embrace your desires with confidence. Focus point 1. A personal sex revolution. Reflecting on your last sexual experience, what was the first thought that crossed your mind afterward? Ideally, it would be something positive like how enjoyable it was. But if we're being honest, for many of us, the initial reaction is often anxiety-driven. How did I look? Did they enjoy it? Why aren't they saying anything? These thoughts can quickly spiral into self-doubt and worry, all while we try to hide our inner panic. It's a familiar feeling for many, and you're certainly not alone in experiencing this turmoil. At the core of it all is the truth that good sex starts from within. It's about how you feel about yourself, your body, and your desires. When you embrace your own sexual self with confidence, that energy flows naturally into your romantic encounters, enriching the connection with your partner. Learning to love yourself first is not just a cliché. It's an essential foundation for experiencing fulfilling intimacy. Sex is a natural, healthy part of life, and just like any aspect of our health, when something's off, we must address it. If you're feeling disconnected or dissatisfied in your sex life, it's worth examining other areas of your life. How can you feel confident and vulnerable when naked and exposed if you're not comfortable with who you are in other moments of your life, even when you're fully dressed? Confidence isn't just about how you look in the bedroom. It starts with the way you carry yourself in everyday situations, from casual conversations to how you view your own worth. So take a deep breath, release the pressure, and let's explore the journey of sexual and relational self-awareness together. Sexual self-awareness is about understanding how you relate to both yourself and your relationships. It's a process of exploring who you are, what you need, and how you connect with others in an intimate context. When we do the work to understand ourselves fully, it becomes much easier to build healthier, more authentic sexual relationships. Focus point 2. Understanding needs and desires. The modern generation of lovers is grappling with the consequences of past generations' emotional and relational struggles. Perhaps you've found yourself mindlessly scrolling through dating apps late into the night, feeling a sense that something isn't quite right. Let's address that and get you back to a peaceful night's sleep. A few common obstacles can sabotage our sexual lives, including being vague with your needs, sexuality-related oppression, poor sex education. Relationships are built on the foundation of two or more people, each with their own experiences, desires, and challenges. The most significant issue often stems from poor communication, especially when it comes to expressing our sexual needs. It's easy to assume that relationships should thrive automatically, but when we fail to clearly communicate our desires, misunderstandings are bound to arise. For many, especially women, the struggle is more pronounced. Due to patriarchal social conditioning, women are often raised to avoid conflict, step aside, and prioritize others' comfort over their own. In heterosexual relationships, this dynamic can lead to women neglecting their own needs, simply because they may not have been taught to recognize or value them. Sexual self-awareness is often not cultivated, making it harder to express what we want in the bedroom. This problem goes beyond the personal realm. It infiltrates societal systems from education to law, public policy, and religion. Remember the concept of abstinence, which has been central to many sex education programs. For years, the focus has been on the dangers of sex, like diseases and unwanted pregnancies, painting it as something to be avoided or feared. As a result, entire generations have grown up believing that sex is something to endure rather than enjoy. Talking about sex should be just as natural and comfortable as having sex itself. Alexandra H. Solomon, Ph.D., emphasizes the need to revitalize sexual self-awareness with 3 simple steps. Name the issue, recognize the problem at hand. Connect with your needs. Reflect on what you truly want and need. Choose the right thing. Make decisions based on what aligns with your values and needs. For example, let's say you're a woman in a situationship where your partner wants to have sex, but you're not in the mood and you're busy. First, name the issue. This man is asking to meet for sex. Next, connect with your needs. I'm afraid that if I say no, he'll be upset or disappointed. In this moment, you're prioritizing his feelings over your own well-being and comfort. Now, armed with this clarity, you can make an informed decision. Do I go along with this, or do I assert my boundaries and prioritize my own needs? By naming the issue, connecting with your needs, and making an informed choice, you begin the journey toward reclaiming your sexual autonomy and ensuring that your desires are heard and respected. Focus point 3. Untangling identity and experience. We never truly leave our anxieties at the door when we enter the bedroom, no matter how much we wish we could simply become uninhibited sexy beasts in the moment. The truth is that our anxieties, insecurities, and past experiences often make their way into our most intimate moments. To truly improve your sexual life, you need to first explore the external elements that shape your experiences in the bedroom, including biological sex and gender, experience with physical intimacy, knowledge of sex. While the importance of differentiating between biological sex, the sex assigned at birth, and gender, how we identify and express ourselves, is widely understood, there is one area that is less often explored: the distinction between gender expression and sexual and romantic attraction. Let's break them down. Gender expression is how we present our gender through our appearance, behavior, and actions. It's not limited to the binary view of masculine or feminine. Rather, it allows for a wide range of expressions that blend traits typically seen as opposite based on biological sex. In fact, people who embrace both masculine and feminine elements in their style and expression are often seen as particularly attractive because they convey confidence and fluidity in their gender identity. Now, let's look at sexual attraction versus romantic attraction, 2 concepts that may seem similar but are distinct. Sexual attraction focuses on the physical, immediate aspects that draw you to someone. It's the chemistry you feel when you're physically drawn to another person. Romantic attraction, on the other hand, is more about a broader, long-term emotional connection that involves commitment and intimacy beyond the physical. Understanding and embracing these dimensions of your identity helps you feel more confident and empowered in your sexual life. Another crucial aspect of intimacy is recognizing how your past experiences shape your preferences. Our environment, including societal norms and expectations, has a powerful influence on our sexual lives. For example, words like agency and communion have gendered undertones in our society. Agency is often linked with responsibility and status, while communion is connected to caring and love. In a patriarchal society, this can result in women feeling pressured to prioritize others' satisfaction over their own. It's important to recognize that both men and women should equally embrace agency and communion, ensuring that neither person feels responsible for maintaining the relationship through personal sacrifice. Emotional intimacy can be just as, if not more, arousing than physical gestures. Emotional connection, communication, and vulnerability often pave the way for deeper sexual satisfaction and desire. Lastly, let's address an important point. What if one partner has less sexual experience than the other? Does that make the less experienced partner passive or submissive? Absolutely not. Sexual experience is something that builds over time, just like any skill or knowledge. What's crucial is understanding the role of consent, the foundation of any healthy sexual experience. No matter how experienced you are, it's vital to communicate openly with your partner, ask for reassurance when needed, and feel empowered to stop or change things if you're uncomfortable. By doing so, you gain clarity on what you do and don't prefer, allowing you to shape a more fulfilling sexual experience for yourself. Understanding your gender identity, sexual preferences, and emotional needs, and learning how to communicate them, can help you feel more confident and connected in your sexual relationships. With this knowledge, you're better equipped to navigate intimacy without the weight of external pressures or anxieties. Focus point 4. Emotionality is an advantage. In relationships, women are often rightfully wary of being led by men. We can trace this caution back to the patriarchy, which has warped natural vulnerability, a crucial aspect of healthy romance. This distortion can manifest in various ways, including rigid and chaotic couples, suppressing emotions, conforming to unrealistic beauty standards. Dan Siegel, a prominent psychiatry professor, divides most mental disorders into two categories: rigid and chaotic. Solomon observed a similar pattern in relationships. Rigid couples are often stuck in a rut, feeling disconnected and bored, with both their romantic and sexual lives growing stale. In contrast, chaotic couples are constantly in turmoil, with their relationship marked by anxiety, fear, and even anger. You might recognize chaotic relationships when couples break up and reunite with the change of seasons. To test where you might fall, consider these internal dialogues. Chaotic couples may hear voices in their heads saying, "You're not worthy of sexual pleasure," or "Sex is not really a big deal." Rigid couples, on the other hand, might hear, "Sex is sinful," or "Sex is dirty." The key to healthy romance lies in balancing these extremes, but that's impossible without emotional vulnerability. Healthy relationships thrive when both partners can open up, share their emotions, and feel safe doing so. Without this vulnerability, relationships become stagnant or overly tumultuous. Emotions themselves are complex, stemming from neurochemical and physiological interactions in the body. This makes them mutable and real, signaling when something isn't right, especially in intimate moments. The emotional shifts you experience before, during, and after sex are valid. They can alert you to discomfort or dissatisfaction, giving you the chance to pause, discuss, and improve the situation. For example, if you feel a sudden sadness after sex, commonly known as postcoital dysphoria (PCD), it's important to pay attention to these feelings rather than brushing them aside. Never dismiss your negative emotions, especially when they emerge in intimate moments. Repressing them only leads to greater emotional harm and lasting trauma. It's essential to recognize and process these feelings, as they can reveal deeper emotional needs or unresolved issues that need attention. Another key factor to consider is how beauty standards impact your emotional and sexual life. The societal pressure to conform to certain physical ideals is toxic, but you can detox from it by prioritizing relationships and hobbies that nourish your sense of self-worth, minimizing fat talk, self-deprecating language about body image, curating your social media feeds to focus on content that celebrates individuality rather than superficial beauty. When exercising, shifting your focus from immediate pain to future benefits and gratitude. Finally, don't forget to masturbate. Yes, self-pleasure is a crucial step in understanding your own body and preferences. It allows you to explore your desires and become more comfortable with your physical self. It's a practice that helps you shed shame and communicate more openly with your partner about what you like. If you've never explored yourself intimately, explaining your preferences to a partner will be much more difficult. Did you know? Research shows that men with sexist views are more likely to suffer from poor mental health, further highlighting the need for emotional openness and gender equality in all aspects of life, including sexual relationships. Focus point 5. When your handstand fails. Sex plays a crucial role in many romantic relationships, making its quality a significant concern. We often carry heavy insecurities about our performance in the bedroom, but it's vital to remember that sex alone can't fix a broken relationship. Relationships require communication, emotional connection, and trust to thrive beyond the bedroom. Here are some essential points to keep in mind. Sexual desire is unpredictable. Sexual desire is a fluid, unpredictable force influenced by countless factors. It's important not to feel ashamed or inadequate when your desire doesn't align with your partner's. Sometimes you may be at different levels of desire or intimacy, and that's okay. The key is communication. Good sex requires both partners to feel connected, grounded, and responsive to each other's needs. If you're too shy or anxious to communicate openly about your desires and boundaries, you miss out not only on enjoyable sex but also on fostering an honest and trusting relationship. Don't be afraid to take risks. Risk is necessary, just like fantasies. Taking risks can be intimidating, but it's often essential for deepening intimacy and connection. Solomon recalls attempting a handstand to spice things up with her husband. While it could have led to embarrassment if she had fallen, her husband's laughter and support turned it into a positive experience. This highlights the importance of having a partner who provides compassion and encouragement when you take risks, whether it's in the form of trying new things like threesomes or simply taking the lead in the bedroom. Risk-taking isn't just about sexual adventure. It's about cultivating trust and openness with your partner. If your partner doesn't support you in these moments, it's a sign that miscommunication or deeper issues may need to be addressed. Faking is stealing pleasure from yourself. Faking orgasms or pretending to enjoy something you don't not only robs you of pleasure but also undermines the trust and authenticity of your relationship. Being truthful about your likes, dislikes, and boundaries creates an environment where both you and your partner can feel confident and secure, leading to more satisfying and genuine experiences. Embrace your needs without shame. If something doesn't feel right, communicate it and create the space to explore what does. Spirituality is not a religion. Many people wrestle with the intersection of their spirituality and natural sexual desires, particularly when influenced by religious teachings that view sex as something taboo or shameful. Christianity, for example, often restricts sex to procreation, which can lead to an existential crisis for those who experience sexuality outside of these confines. If you're struggling with reconciling your natural desires and your faith, consider that spirituality doesn't have to be confined to any particular religion. Spirituality can be a more flexible and personal practice, one that honors your sexuality without shame. Some view religious texts like the Bible as products of their time, with patriarchal norms that may not apply in the same way today. A personalized spiritual approach can provide a balance, allowing you to accept both your sexuality and your spiritual needs. In the end, embracing vulnerability, taking risks, and being honest with yourself and your partner are crucial for nurturing both your sexual and emotional intimacy. When you allow space for these elements in your relationship, both the bedroom and the rest of your connection can flourish. Focus point 6. The bravery of openness. Marriage, dating, and relationships have evolved significantly over the last few decades. What was once a straightforward institution based on tradition and societal expectations has now become a complex web of individual choices, influenced by evolving social norms. Today we see a rise in LGBTQ+ and interracial relationships, as well as non-monogamous commitments, each challenging the norms of the past. Despite the progress, many people struggle with the effects of divorced parents, socioeconomic disparities, and digital distractions, which complicate communication even when love is present. In a world filled with dating apps and online personas, many are tempted to create an air of mystery, but this often leads to miscommunication and isolation. Embrace openness and true connection. Instead of playing games to appear attractive or elusive, embracing openness and authenticity in relationships fosters deeper connections. When we allow ourselves to truly connect with others, especially in romantic relationships, we create space for vulnerability, trust, and intimacy. Avoiding the illusion of perfection and embracing genuine conversations can help eliminate misunderstandings and promote emotional intimacy. Openness allows us to share our authentic selves, building stronger, more resilient bonds. The male code of conduct. Men, particularly, are often subject to societal pressures and toxic masculinity, which dictates certain expectations about emotional behavior. The code of conduct for many men includes: man has it figured out. Man is not complicated. Man must prove himself at all times. These stereotypes limit emotional expression, leaving many men to feel isolated or disconnected from their emotions and, consequently, their partners. The tough guy persona inhibits real communication, making it difficult for men to express vulnerability or discuss emotions. This not only harms the individual but can also cause distress in relationships. Healing through vulnerability. Breaking free from these toxic narratives requires self-awareness and self-reflection. Men, in particular, can heal by practicing vulnerability and seeking to understand their feelings. Here are a few suggestions for mending emotional communication within relationships. Self-reflection. Take time to reflect on why it might be difficult for you to talk about your feelings. What fears or insecurities arise when you think about being open? Understanding the source of these emotions is the first step in overcoming them. Ask questions and listen. Often your partner doesn't need you to fix anything, she simply wants to be heard. Ask open-ended questions and listen with empathy, validating her feelings without the urge to solve the problem. In relationships, active listening is just as important as speaking. Stop defending yourself. Relationships are a safe space for mutual love and respect. Let go of the need to constantly defend yourself and allow space for open, honest dialogue. In love, vulnerability fosters understanding, and defensiveness creates barriers. As Dr. Alexandra H. Solomon notes, listening without defensiveness can feel like letting someone walk all over you. But this vulnerability is the key to fostering emotional intimacy and ensuring both partners feel heard, valued, and connected. Ultimately, overcoming these societal expectations and embracing emotional openness is essential for building fulfilling, long-lasting relationships. By letting go of the man code and leaning into vulnerability, men and women alike can experience richer emotional connections and healthier partnerships. Conclusion. As we move further into the 21st century, sex is no longer a taboo topic, and its prominence in modern culture continues to grow. However, it's important to remember that true pleasure in sex doesn't come from just physical connection. It stems from a foundation of honesty, risk-taking, and empathy. While the changing landscape of sex education is offering more openness and inclusivity, it should also encourage confidence, self-awareness, and a deeper understanding of what we want in intimate settings. Sex, at its core, is about connecting with oneself and others authentically, allowing for both pleasure and personal growth. When we approach our sexual needs with honesty and clarity, we give ourselves the courage to face not just our partners, but the world with unapologetic confidence. Here are some practical tips for navigating this journey. Be conscious of your porn consumption. Choose ethical pornography that ensures the safety and fair compensation of all actors involved. This helps combat the exploitative nature of the adult entertainment industry and supports healthy, respectful representations of sexuality. Keep realistic yet empathetic expectations about dating apps. Online dating can sometimes create unrealistic expectations due to its curated, idealized profiles. It's important to approach dating apps with a healthy, empathetic mindset, understanding that these platforms often only show a fraction of a person's true self. Be patient and allow real connections to form. Explore apps that encourage sexual conversations. If you're unsure how to discuss your sexual preferences with a partner, try using apps like Kindu, which let you explore various positions and fantasies through a fun, non-pressuring approach. These apps can help create open conversations without embarrassment and build confidence in expressing desires. Speak about sex in the third person. If you find it difficult to talk about your sexual preferences directly, consider speaking about them in the third person. This method can help distance any awkwardness and make the conversation feel less vulnerable, while still allowing both partners to explore their needs and desires. Ultimately, the key to a fulfilling sexual life is openness, empathy, and the willingness to take risks, both emotionally and physically. When we approach our sexuality with curiosity and authenticity, we are better equipped to understand and connect with ourselves and others in a meaningful way. Key focus points. The importance of emotional vulnerability in intimacy and relationships. Understanding the difference between biological sex, gender, sexual attraction, and romantic attraction. The necessity of balancing emotional openness and physical pleasure. The role of communication, risk-taking, and empathy in enhancing sexual connection. The impact of societal pressures, beauty standards, and self-acceptance on sexual well-being. The value of exploring desires, fantasies, and consent for a healthy sexual life. In this audiobook, we've explored how to reclaim your sexual confidence and deepen your intimate relationships by prioritizing honesty, emotional connection, and risk-taking. We also delved into the significance of self-awareness, sexual communication, and accepting your body as a foundation for pleasure and connection. Understanding the complexities of attraction, gender expression, and intimacy can transform your approach to both sex and relationships, allowing for deeper emotional fulfillment and better physical experiences. Recommendations: be mindful of how societal pressures and beauty standards affect your self-perception and your relationship with your body. Embrace openness with your partner, creating a safe space for sharing desires, fantasies, and boundaries. Engage in conversations about sex, either through apps or directly, to ensure mutual understanding and respect. Take the time to explore your own sexuality, whether through self-pleasure or open discussions, to know what works best for you. Be patient and compassionate with yourself and your partner, allowing space for growth and learning in your sexual journey. Reflecting on the overall experience, it's clear that intimacy is not just about physical connection. It's about fostering a relationship with yourself and your partner rooted in trust, empathy, and open communication. The insights shared in this audiobook are essential in navigating the complexities of modern relationships, sexuality, and self-empowerment. Thank you for investing your time in this exploration, and I hope you've gained valuable perspectives to enhance your own intimate life. If you found this audiobook valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps others discover content that can transform their lives. And remember, as you continue listening to this audiobook and others, the more they listen, the better they speak. Whether it's about intimacy, communication, or improving their language skills. Keep growing, keep learning, and stay engaged.